It's night. On a deserted beach, a strong wind throws grains of sand against the figure of an old man who silently walks by the shoreline with a staff in his hand. And he walked the whole night for 7 years until he realized he was tired. At the very moment he stopped, the wind ceased, and a full moon began to rise over the sea. Facing it, he started to draw a big circle with the staff, writing 4 words in the sand: passion, courage, reason, intuition. After closing the first circle, he restarted drawing the words around himself, over and over for 70 years. As the moon completed its path across the sky, disappearing at the opposite side, he stopped walking. Then he sat in the center of the circle and fell asleep. After sleeping for 700 years, he was awakened by the light of the sun. Around him, the words and the footsteps had been erased by the action of the tide. Beneath a clear blue sky, he took the staff and began to walk again. This time, the man walked for 7,000 years, until he felt tired. As the sun completed its path across the sky, falling at the opposite side, after 70,000 years walking, he stopped as the wind ceased. And now, 2 full moons rose over the sea. Facing them, he draws a new big circle writing those same 4 words. As it had happened before, he draws the words, walking around for 700,000 years. When the 2 moons completed their path across the sky, he stopped walking. He lays on the sand and falls asleep again.
Waking up at daybreak, the old man found himself drenched by the tide. The words he wrote in the sand had disappeared, washed by the waves. The shore was intact, as if nobody had stepped on it for a long, long time, as if it were waiting for someone to take new steps, to draw new shapes. No one to talk to, no delight, no pain, no nothing to recall. Just a sand, just a sea, and a new path to find. Silent thoughts and brilliant insights travel across his boundless mind. And the old man takes his staff in his hand, seeking for brand new quests. No fear in the heart, he's ready to go, to go, to go, to go. Passion, courage, reason, intuition are his words. After sleeping for so long, he awakes and retakes his walk. He's alone. He's alone again.
Days and nights came and went. Another circle, the same words. 7 times he repeated this cycle. 7 moons rose over the sea. Then, at the first day of a new cycle, he saw another old man walking in his direction. As they get closer, they stopped and looked each other. Turning to the sea, they sat side by side. That night 7 moons rose. The old men didn't fall asleep. They stared to the horizon, and after 7 million years, the day broke. 2 suns rose over the sea.
Smile, you little human, smile, for you're sane. By the way, what's sanity? They don't care about it. In fact, they worry about nothing. They can't appreciate the countless sunrises over the countless mountains. And they don't waste their time to decide which is more important to the picture, whether the sun or the mountains. You look a little sick, don't you? Take a rest for a couple of centuries. Maybe when you wake up, you may find out something that makes you better comprehend the meaning of life. Once there was a time when planet Earth was thought to be flat, when people in England believed there was nothing beyond the cliffs of the very southwest part of their island, nothing but the infinite sea. That region was called Land's End. That's precisely where this story takes place. Land's End, summer of 1402, southwest of England. Nearby, there was the small town of Senan, where a man was about to commit Anne. Insanity.
It's Monday morning, he opens his window to let the sun in. Ears in the air, eyes in the sky. There was something he had to do. He was in his street, bare feet, holding their breath. All the people around in astonishment, trying to guess what the hell he would do. Hidden behind the doors.
Look at him, his eyes don't blink. Funny his pajamas, Mummy.
Well, I think he's just drunk.
Carrying a whip in one hand and a huge knife in the other. Leonardo the barber, 66, crosses the fence of the mayor's house, runs through the side corridor, rushes into the backyard, complicatedly do. Stepping into the hen house, he sees a big red rooster inside.
The devil got his soul.
The Antichrist is here.
Day of the Lord.
God, please save me. First, the rooster started to run around the yard, trying to flee from Leonard, who was frenetically trying to catch him. In one of the turns, he found a way out of the street, so the race continued throughout the town.
far from Earth, higher and higher above, the rooster continued leading Leonard. Now he finds himself inside something like a translucent capsule, connected to the rooster's legs by means of some sort of an also translucent wire. An enchanted version of his old whip. During the flight, he could see other beasts carrying other voyagers, all protected by the same structures. Out of the solar system, he could see a bright, vast concentration of stars in the form of a disk, the center of the Milky Way. He presumed his capsule was being transported directly into the center of that bright white region. As he approached the center of the galaxy, in a certain moment he could clearly distinguish, right in front of him, a small black point. At the same time, he began to hear the distant sound of a simple, pretty melody. Closer and closer, as the black point became larger, so the music sounded louder. Soon, all animals were singing in a massive choir. In fact, the black region proved to be a vortex, like a big mouth, attracting everything into its center, a black hole. As they approached, the flight speed was tremendously increased by its gravitational effect, and so they reached the final boundary. The event horizon. The music continued to play, now in reverse order. The animals dropped the capsules and disappeared, letting them inevitably to be swallowed. Now the millions of capsules travel through the black hole. Leonard looks around and sees the other capsules vanish before his eyes as he penetrates into a deep darkness.
The string theory. A travel between parallel universes with wormholes. Could black holes be portals to other universes? Do black holes contain other universes? Equations predict that our universe may sit in another universe's black hole. Now Leonard and his human fellows, each one inside his capsule, were flying across the singularity. He watches his body to be stretched like a spaghetti, but he feels no pain. He recalls no memories. He's just a negligible part of that scenario. He doesn't know yet, but soon he'll be about to test the string theory. After a while, Leonard's eyes captured a tiny white point ahead. The black to white journey had begun.
The sensors of my eyes detect a tiny sign. It's very real, but I refuse to believe. Getting closer, growing and shining more and more. Limits of my sight obliterate my reason, entangled in its essence, exposed to the unknown. I can only trust this white spaceship knows exactly where to land. I sense my body changing fast. I'm feeling so stretched. Pain is an old story I am about to forget. Can't recall no memories from my past, no matter hard I try. Time moves so slowly, nothing here makes sense. The white point grows ahead, approaching more and more. But I feel safe inside my capsule, with peace and confidence. Have no thoughts in mind. The symbiosis is completed. I'm at the speed of light. Light, 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 light.
As he approached the center of the vortex, Leonard sees a small, tiny black vortex being formed, spinning in the opposite direction of the white vortex, rapidly growing its size. The new black hole was attracting all capsules back to the dark space where they came from. The string theory was right. But it doesn't matter to him. At the end of the white to black journey, Leonard was thrown again into the dark space. And guess what was waiting for him?
Once more, the Black Rooster takes the control of the capsule and leads Leonard back to, guess what? Old Mother Earth. As he entered the atmosphere, the white capsule slowly began to melt as it began falling. Touching the ground in a smooth landing, the capsule completely dissolved. And now,
he found himself alone on a vast green plain, dressed in pajamas. A very different Earth received him in her arms.
saw justice in the ninth. He was a priest in the 10th. He was wise. In the 11th, he saw people marching with their flags. In the 12th, he saw their spirits.
Outside the well, he fluctuated freely in the air, and from above, he saw his naked body tied to a wooden table's yet. Nothing could be done. He was lost in that nightmare, maybe somewhere between life and death. Animals of all species suddenly appeared from every side. Around the table they just wait. Lives fall from the sky.
Come to my arms, take my hand, I'm full of grace. Lay your troubles over me, feel the beat of my heart. This is the end for mankind. There will never be another chance to start again.
In the beginning, Leonard created the head and the farm. And the farm was void and without form. And darkness was upon the face of the farm. And the spirit of Leonard moved upon the face of the farm. And Leonard said, "Let there be the light." And there was the lamp. And Leonard saw the lamp that was good. And Leonard divided the light from the darkness. And Leonard called the light rooster. And the darkness he called owl. And the evening and the morning were the first day. 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 After 6 days, Leonard had created many things. And at the end, he saw everything that he had made, and, behold, it was the best thing he could do. Finally, after sleeping the whole weekend, Leonard finds himself woke up by his old friend.
Mummy, who came first? 'Twas the hen, 'twas the egg, or both?
Don't look back, seek your path. It's time, you must burn all bridges. Burn all bridges.
Lazarus of Bethany considered himself a man of simple thoughts and simple things. But also, he always considered to himself that he had some destiny, that he was someone with a special purpose. One day he had a dream, and in this dream he was wandering alone over the hills near his home, unhappy because he was alive after being resurrected by his friend Jesus of Nazareth. Unhappy because during the short period that he was dead, he encountered his soulmate in Parnas, where he felt complete. But in a sudden, he was brought to life again, finding himself in the cold grave where his body was left. Devastated in this nightmare, he waked up, sobbing. The days that followed showed a very different man, haunted by the dream. Perhaps more than a dream.
Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus, of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. His sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Jesus heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. Jesus loved Martha, and her sister, and Lazarus. When he had heard therefore that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then after that saith he to his disciples, Let us go into Judea again. His disciples say unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou thither again? Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. These things said he, and after that he saith unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go, that I may awake him out of sleep. Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought that he had spoken of taking of rest in sleep. Then said Jesus unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead.
His senses again. At the end of the journey, time seems to have stopped. And now, in that strange place, he wants to be sure if those forms of life he sees are real or not. He's dead, but somehow he feels good. Someone comes near, and Lazarus exults. full of light. You're the brightest of all. Many nights have I dreamed of you. Many tears have I shed. Now at last my handcuffs have all been dissolved. Excited, contented, I see myself.
Healed by the sands of time, our loved signals eternal flame. Someday I feel we shall be joined the
So freely, so plainly, we see our souls.
How can we be so sure if life seems hard to be understood much wider than our vision can embrace? Deep inside your ecstasy, you must be very strong. Your people is waiting for you. They have to see you alive, for this is the way their minds shall see the power of God.
They shall see the power of God. be easy to accept my fate. Oh, why did he choose me? Why me? Out of a billion souls, am I the chosen one? And after death and after life, just to testify the Son of Man, I can see very clearly now my destiny at last. To be part of some bigger plan, pursuing my quest. Like a tiny piece of a puzzle, I must do my best to find out what's my role in this play. It's cold, I feel so bad in this dark grave. From the deep of the cave, my body rises once more. You are, now you got me back to this world again. I've been left, I miss so much, but now I know how to find her. Maybe today I'm very sad of everything that in this world I see. But now that I knew the other side, all the things are clear to me. Life goes on, it never ends. That's the way it has to be. And the chords of life keep weaving forever. Where did it go? That ever smiling face we used to see in our mirror. We used to dream most of the time, and we spent the days just playing our happy games. It was so easy to move on. It was so simple to understand that life wants nothing more than staying alive. stand. I watch my body laid so peaceful. I know that soon this old mass of flesh and bones will turn into ashes, so that life can thrive and start again. Have courage. Be kind.